Hello, fellow seekers, friends, family. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone had a great week. I was waiting. I know you all know, we all know that Sarah wants a retrial, another trial. Are any of us surprised? No. Are we surprised that what's his name? Mr. Owens was going to go ahead and do that, his last hurrah thing to file this ridiculous motion? No, none of us are surprised. But I kind of wanted to wait a few days. I was waiting because I thought maybe, just maybe, and I still think it could be coming, that Sarah Boone will pen yet another letter. But it didn't happen. So, but then the other thing I did see was like an 80-page document from Mr. Owens on one of the testimonies he's complaining about. And that was interesting. I was going to go over that with you, but by gosh, what do you know? Today I go to didn't even think about it, went to the Orange County court, website to pull up these documents. And it is closed. Monday is a holiday, Veterans Day. For any of you who have served, thank you so much for your service. My mom and dad were both in the Navy. In fact, met each other there. And of course, got married after that and had my sister and me. But anyhow, the website is closed till Tuesday. And I'm like, oh, well, I get it. But I was like, but hey, who knows? But I thought, well, let's go on over it now and have some fun. And it's not really, again, you know how I am very serious about George and his family. And really, I look at Brian Boone and their son as a victim of Sarah Boone and her foolishness. So, but, lo and behold, I always know I can count on Reddit to find where somebody has posted something about something. So thank you, Reddit, for providing this. So let's look at it. Oh, first of all, I'm trying to get better about this. If this is your first time here, I hope that you all find this a warm and welcoming place. I try not to take myself too seriously. I do take these cases seriously when you can see an obvious injustice, like, for example, in this case of Sarah Boone. Now, there are some people that believe that she's innocent. I did read your comments from my past several videos on Sarah, and I don't think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think I saw anyone feeling like she was innocent. I felt like everyone was feeling pretty much the same as me, annoyed and exasperated and like, let's get this done. But anyhow, I do hope you find this a warm and welcoming place. And I will tell you, I'm a very small channel. Hey, I'm still trying to get to 3K, but the community I have here, you all are so wonderful. For those of you who've been sticking with me all this time, I truly appreciate it. But you're smart, you're funny, you're insightful, and you always tell me something that I don't know. So I learn a lot from you all, and whatever information I can get, I'm here to just give my opinion, because I'm not a lawyer, a paralegal, I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist, but I have opinions. So that, and freedom of speech is, and I try not to be I just try to be truthful. And if I'm annoyed with a person, you're going to know it. And, that's just how it is, because I am about justice for people who have had these horrible crimes committed against them. So welcome. And, I hope you'll stick around, and let's get into it. So here it goes. It was filed on the 4th. It says defendant's motion for new trial. You all will have to forgive me. I will try. I have my glasses on. I can't make this as big as I usually do, like from the court documents. So always remember, if I am talking or reading too small, you can always speed me up on your device if it's too slow. But sometimes I have to do that because I want to make sure, I can see what the heck I'm reading. So just remember that. But welcome again, and let's get on with it. Defendant's motion for new trial. Comes now the defendant, Sarah Boone, by and through counsel and pursuant, boy, I already can't see that, okay, to rule, okay, sorry guys. Oh, there you go. Rule 3600, Florida Rules of Criminal Procedure, files this motion for new trial, stating in support thereof the following. Number 1, the defendant was found guilty as charged of second-degree murder on October 25th, 2024. Number 2, the instant motion is timely filed pursuant to Rule 3600. Number 3, the defendant asserts that she is entitled to a new trial under Rule 3600 on the following grounds. 1, the court erred in ruling that the defendant was not entitled to court-appointed counsel. Okay, sure. 2, the court erred in denying undersigned counsel's multiple motions for continuance. Okay. Next, this one really pisses me off. The court erred in failing to grant a new trial when the alleged victim's family caused an emotional outburst in open court in the, I'll roll it up. Sorry about that. That just, I'm already annoyed. Okay. When the alleged victim's family caused an emotional outburst in open court in the presence of the jury prior to deliberations. I'd have to go back and play that, but I did not feel like that the emotional, I don't want to say outburst, the emotional sound, I think that was from George's mother. I mean, I can remember when Mr. Owens was asking for the mistrial and all this, he said he or she, couldn't even tell who it was, and they were doubled over in pain. Well, I suppose they were. Anyhow, I'll go on. But I did not hear that loud of noise or, grief, which I think I would have been screaming. But the person left, again, I think it was George's mom, left appropriately, and I don't think it was disruptive. Anyhow, I digress. But anyhow, okay. And then 4, the trial court failed to disallow the opinion testimony of the state's rebuttal expert witness, Dr. Tanya Werner, MD, after the state failed to disclose before trial that the witness had formed a new opinion. And 5, the state committed I'm actually using a magnifying glass, so forgive me, guys. Prosecutorial misconduct by essentially making a second closing argument instead of a rebuttal argument. Oh my goodness. And as usual, I refer you to Lawyer You Know with Peter. Now I've got to give Peter a lot of credit because I think he is a defense, I think he's a defense attorney, but he is very, very fair. And even sometimes you might get annoyed and say, how can you be so fair when this person does this? But he's trying to look at both sides carefully and how the law works and all that. So I really appreciate and admire him for that. It's really good to see that. That's why I like to go to a lot of different people. And then the other one who had commented on this was Emily D. Baker. Now, of course, she was a prosecutor. So she's like, you could just, if you watch her, she's hilarious. And she goes, Owens, you were told, just like the judge told him, parachuted in, and he already knew that he was not going to do a continuance, Judge Kranick. So, you got two different views there, but they all they're both are great. And there's others, but those two are two of my favorites. Okay, so it says, in the above styled and numbered case, the defendant had approximately as I roll it up. I have to roll it up more often because I have to be able to read it till I blow it up. Okay. 7 court-appointed attorneys prior to the undersigned counsel taking her case. Undersigned counsel took on the above case because he was concerned that Miss Boone would not have an attorney to represent her at trial. The above case was very complex, even for a seasoned trial attorney who is the public defender of the First Judicial Circuit for years, as well as having a thriving private practice. Now, again, I will say that I admire and appreciate that Mr. Owens took the case and he flip-flopped around and he was ill-prepared, but I do think probably he is a good attorney. You got to look at, I guess, the aspect of if you ever need a defense attorney. But he's very proud of himself, much like Sarah's proud of her many accomplishments. Anyhow, I digress again. It was apparent to undersigned trial counsel that Ms. Boone would be grossly ill-prepared and unequipped to handle a trial in this matter, or, in fact, to handle any other phase of the trial without counsel. Both the Sixth Amendment as well as Rule 3.111 Florida Rules of Criminal Procedure guarantee an indigent defendant. Just hang in there with me. The right to appointed counsel. There appear to be two exceptions to this precedence. If the defendant physically harms or threatens to harm, R-word, battery, etc., her counsel, and 2, if the trial court certifies that the defendant will not be incarcerated if found guilty, i.e., a judge trial. Should the court determine that the defendant is not entitled to court-appointed counsel due to misbehavior on the part of the defendant, the court must follow a process which protects the individual's rights due process as well as the defendant's right to the assistance of counsel. In the instant case, undersigned trial counsel would assert that Miss Boone's behavior did not rise to the level of misconduct to warrant a waiver of the right to court-appointed counsel. And if the court determines that she waived her right to court-appointed counsel, then the court failed to warn her or inform her that continued misbehavior would result in a waiver of the right to court-appointed counsel. Under controlling precedents, failure of the court to appoint trial counsel can result in a motion for new trial being granted. See Figueroa, Sanabria, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Under controlling precedents, Rule 3.111, Florida Rules of Criminal Procedure, and the Sixth Amendment, the defendant, through counsel, moves the court for a new trial. Well, isn't that special? And then we will go to argument 2. The court erred in failing to grant defendants' motions for continuance made by undersigned trial counsel. The court shall not deprive a defendant of his or her right to counsel of their own choice. Failure of the trial court to grant a continuance will result in a new trial should the court deny said motion for a continuance by new counsel. See these case laws that he has presented. And we're going to move it up, move it up, move it up. Whoops, I gotta move this down, so sorry. Okay. In the instant case, when undersigned counsel came on board, the case was 4 years old. Undersigned counsel filed his notice of appearance on August 30th, 2024. This gave counsel 45 days to prepare for a second-degree murder trial. Oops, I said the word. Oh well. He immediately and aggressively began to prepare for trial. Undersigned counsel did his best to prepare for trial by traveling to Orlando from Milton on multiple occasions, both for meeting with Ms. Boone and attending multiple hearings. Despite his best attempts to prepare for trial, it was impossible to adequately prepare for unforeseen issues arising during trial. A prime example of this would be reviewing hundreds of pages of text from Miss Boone's seized cell phone, viewing all records of prior contact of Ms. Boone and the alleged victim with law enforcement, including inadmissible hearsay by the alleged victim to law enforcement regarding Ms. Boone being the aggressor at times. Counsel, for all purposes, closed his law practice down to prepare for the trial, but due to the short time frame, even with the assistance of other attorneys, he had 2 other attorneys and the 2 females, was simply logistically unable to be as prepared for trial as he would have liked to be, and as Miss Boone was entitled to. Under the controlling cases cited, super the court's failure to grant undersigned counsel's motions. Oh my goodness. Undersigned's motions for continuance should result in a new trial. Now, come on. He knew. Nobody said he had to close his practice. He didn't have to take the case. That's where I think Judge Craning is going to set him straight on all of this. But we'll continue. Argument 3. The court erred when it denied a motion for new trial due to an emotional outburst in the presence of the jury. Prior to jury deliberations, the alleged victim's family members began to audibly and visibly get upset and departed the courtroom. There would be the opportune word. They did depart the courtroom when they knew. Undersigned counsel timely moved for a mistrial, requesting a new trial. The court did not give any curative instructions or address whether the outburst could adversely affect the jury's deliberations. Florida appellate courts have held that the failure of the court to grant a curative instruction or a mistrial can result in the necessity of granting a new trial. And he states some of these case laws. The court is unable to determine if this outburst affected the jury's decision because no inquiry was made. Under controlling precedents, the defendant is entitled to a new trial. Okay, while I'm schooling up, what do you all think about that? And I did go back and play it, and I did notice that, like, right after, I don't know if this has any, because Sarah, I think, was definitely involved in all this. I saw her write on a Post-it or something and turn around to the people behind her and probably saying, oh, well, this is, I'm like thinking, all right, Sarah. But, I guess, I mean, he did passionately defend Sarah. I'll give him that. Okay, argument 4. The court erred in allowing the opinion of the state's expert not previously disclosed. The trial court failed to disallow the opinion testimony of the state's rebuttal expert witness, Dr. Tanya Warner, MD, after the state failed to disclose before trial that the witness had found a new opinion relating to whether the defendant perceived an imminent threat at the time of the offense. This issue was discussed extensively in the expert witness's deposition taken on October 4th, 2024. The state committed why do I some of these words I know how to say them, but my brain doesn't do it right. Prosecutorial misconduct by failing to disclose this new opinion as agreed in the deposition mentioned above. In addition, the state's expert opinion on whether the defendant perceived an imminent threat necessary for the justifiable use of force and battered spouse syndrome testified to before the jury was improper. The state's expert, Dr. Tanya Warner, MD, admitted she had not listened to the defendant's testimony before the jury before forming her opinion on this ultimate issue of fact. In addition, Dr. Warner failed to listen to the testimony of Dr. Michael Brannon and Dr. Julie Harper before expressing her opinion. Furthermore, the state's expert testimony on this issue of whether the defendant perceived an imminent threat at the time of the event violates the province of the jury. Witnesses are prevented from expressing their conclusions when the opinion only tells the jury how to decide the case and does not help the jury determine what occurred. And he lists some case law. When a witness is asked to express an opinion that applies a legal standard, sorry, you got to move this over so I can see. Pardon me, guys. It's a little crazy how I have to do this, but anyhow, a legal standard to a set of facts, the opinion testimony is generally inadmissible. Section 90.703 does not permit a witness to testify to legal conclusions or express an opinion upon questions of substantial law. The testimony may interfere with the function of the trial judge to determine the applicable law and to instruct the jury therein. Well, I will say this. I wasn't that thrilled by Dr. Werner. At the end of the day, I think without her, they probably still would have, with all this evidence they had and all the video recordings and that Sarah herself did, but they, and if you recall, the Judge Crane bent over backwards. He said, okay, so he allowed Mr. Owens to go on and do a deposition for as long as he wanted. And he said, okay, he kept encouraging him, is there any more? Is there any more? Is there any more? And I'm trying to think, I think Peter from Lawyer Your Know said something like, again, Mr. Owens didn't provide enough case law, and there were some things he would have argued differently. There were things that he thought that maybe would go in Mr. Owens and Sarah's favor. I think that, I want to speak for them, but I think that Emily D. Baker did not feel like it. She felt like the judge had given him more than enough. And so, I mean, he kept asking, is there anything more? And it's almost like, I'm sure that Mr. Owens was, he didn't have a lot of time to prepare, but he knew this when he took the case. And he should have already known, based on what he had researched on Sarah, that she was going to be a pain in the ass. So I just don't feel, no. I don't buy it. But from what my understanding is, it is Judge Crane who makes the decision. So I am looking forward to seeing that. Maybe it'll pop up on Tuesday. Maybe they'll have a hearing. before, I would assume they would maybe, before the sentencing on December 2nd. But it remains to be seen. Okay, so the argument 5 is the prosecutor committed misconduct by using rebuttal argument to make a second closing argument. The state committed here I go again with my word. There's the word. I don't know why. Some words, even though I know what it is, and my brain won't let me pronounce it properly, but prosecutorial misconduct by essentially making a second closing argument instead of a rebuttal argument. Counsel for the state made a second closing argument posed as a rebuttal. Wherefore, premises considered, the defendant seeks the relief sought herein as well as any other relief to which she may be entitled. The defendant requests a hearing in this matter. So perhaps Judge Cranick I would imagine they'd have to have some sort of hearing. Let's see, though. I will be anxious to see if Judge Cranick just does it. Sometimes they just say it over, documents. It is denied or it is whatever. But I'm assuming that the state would have a chance to file something. But I know that, I'm trying to think, I think Emily D. Baker said that, this accusation of the state making a second closing argument instead of a rebuttal argument, she disagreed with that. She said it's not their fault they had something really good, but that's her thought. But this is crazy. Not so, but would we expect anything less from Sarah Boone? Okay, so I decided I would take us back to that moment when the prosecution is delivering its closing argument, and they play the Suitcase video, which, of course, caused distress for George's family, whether they were warned about it, which they were. Nobody is going to anticipate. I mean, yes, I would anticipate I would be upset, but you still just don't know. Your feelings just get you. But I guess what I want to look at more than anything is how Sarah is just, she's so cold and soulless. I mean, you have to be some sort of sociopath, psychopath, narcissist to, think about it. Even if it was an accident, which I think maybe it was, but she messed it all up by talking to him. She should have stuck with her initial thing. It wasn't intentional. She may have gotten manslaughter, but no, this, kind of glad she held back and thought she was too good to she thought she was better than all of that. But to think about that, this person that she supposedly loved, which now we see she really didn't, but even just the loss of someone's life, and then the fact that the family that she's so terrified of is just shattered beyond their core with grief. And she's writing something on her little Post-it note without, the jury had to have seen all that. I didn't hear much of a noise. Now y'all can tell me, because I was hearing Sarah going, that's what you do when you choke me, cheat on me, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But if there was, I'm sure there was something, a little bit of emotion, but they left. So just, okay, here I go. I'm just going to play it.
Wow. For everything you've done to me. Sarah. For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
Fuck you.
Sarah.
Fuck you.
Sarah.
Stupid.
Sarah.
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
Sarah, I can't fucking breathe, babe. Seriously.
Yeah, that's when you do it. Shake me.
Sarah.
Okay, so what I heard is, I may have heard something, but I just didn't hear. If it wasn't that much. And then I heard Mr. Owens, right, say something. So he probably was objecting to the family. But then you see them leaving. So see, then they pause it. Yeah, that's his mom. I think that's Juan who testified. And
upset members there of George Torres's family walking out after the prosecution shows that suitcase video that was recorded on Sarah Boone's cell phone.
let me see, watch her jot down on her little, it's either a Post-it or a piece of paper. No emotion. You love to know what she's written on there. If that isn't the definition of pure evil, I don't know what is.
You may continue.
Sarah. Sarah. Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
That's on you.
Sarah, I can't breathe.
It's on you.
Sarah.
Real ransom. Now you want to give it for it extra.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck she said there.
Really got this.
Sarah.
Real ransom.
Sarah. Sarah.
Oh, God. Okay, that's
I
it.
can't breathe, babe.
Okay, I had to stop it. I've heard enough. But I wanted to show you that. The other thing that irritated me too, I'll probably go over the case again, play the things that I didn't play. But, like, really, who I want to say the coroner, or the medical person, who did the autopsy. I thought that she was very knowledgeable, and she had just a soothing voice, and she knew her stuff. And of course, Mr. Owens seemed like he'd done some sort of medical research, because he had all these questions to ask and all that. And it wasn't just then, but it really annoyed me how much they focused on the alcohol level of George, which that's fine. I mean, we're all not idiots. We know he's had a severe alcohol problem, and that is, a shame. But the way Sarah would make it look on the stand, and even when she was recording him saying that he drank all of this stuff, well, I'm sure he did drink a lot of this. He did drink a lot, and so did she. You could clearly see it on those videos that the prosecution showed of the body worn camera by the police when they would go. And Sarah was not exactly sober. she was acting like a damn fool. And George was always calm. I think that's what his demeanor was when he was intoxicated. And Sarah was obviously very flirty with the cops and aggressive towards George. And I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point, but that part did annoy me, to talk about his toxicology, and wouldn't we love to know about hers? But anyhow, there was that I wanted to share with you guys, because I think they did everything appropriate. It wasn't like they were that loud or anything. They left, and that's just stupid. Stupid, as far as I can figure. Okay, so I want y'all to remember what I was talking about, how Sarah appeared to be so cold and really not affected at all by the fact that George's family was understandably and visibly, though I think quietly, upset by seeing that footage of him in the suitcase begging for his life with every last breath, and her taunting him, and how all she kept saying is, oh, she's so terrified of his family, she's so scared of his family. And so I'm trying to pick out the places where she talks about being so scared of his family, because I mean, even though we've all seen it, it's kind of interesting now that we know what we know. It's interesting to go back, and she was not scared of his family. I think they tried to stay away from her. She was the aggressor, as far as I'm concerned, towards everyone.
So, he said that I needed to tell you guys about his family. Like, who do I talk to about that?
We're gonna do that once we walk through and see. Yeah, we're gonna.
I'm just telling you, like,
yeah, this is gonna be a
I'm
while.
afraid for my life. I want you to know that. I am afraid for my life. His family have never liked me. I'm the blue-eyed white devil, is what they call me. So, they've never liked me. They've never taken me in. They've never accepted me, I'll put it that way.
Have you called any of them?
We talked to his daughters yesterday.
No, I mean, like, about this. Does
No.
anyone know? Okay.
That's
So
why
no one's gonna know until we will be making that notification. So
they're going to kill me.
Okay, well.
Do they live local?
Yes, they're down the road. They're going to kill me. His kids are going to kill me in Philadelphia. They're going to kill me. This was not intentional.
Okay.
And they're not going to understand that. They're not going to accept it.
We're gonna do a thorough investigation, and we will definitely make sure that you don't feel scared when we leave here. Okay.
And
When
my
we leave.
9-year-old.
Well, he's at school and he's with your husband.
I know. Well, it was
Ex-husband.
Your husband said that, or your ex-husband said you made arrangements for your 9-year-old to be picked up.
Oh, okay, Mom.
Yeah, you didn't remember that, did you? It was your day, Sarah.
Sorry if that's
Yes,
okay.
please, but you guys just keep me posted.
Of
So I know what's going on.
Yes,
Oh, poor shaky
All
Sarah.
you have to do is get their attention if you have a question or you need to talk to us. He's standing right there. She'll be right here.
Yeah. Okay, but will you guys tell me? Like, so you're telling me, like, you won't call whoever it is without telling me, right?
No.
I mean, I have all their phone.
And we're not calling. We're not making phone calls. We're actually gonna speak to them in person.
Yeah.
We
That'll be
are.
later
They're
on.
going to. Okay.
It'll
You'll
be
know
later.
prior to us making any
I'm
contact.
not going to be here. If they're going to kill me.
Okay.
We'll address all of that, okay, before we leave. Okay?
This was.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Just stay seated, okay, Sarah? I know you're panicking, okay? Just relax. We'll come and talk to you. We'll keep checking on you.
Sarah cannot keep her seat or mind her business. she's got to, I'm telling you, a rabid chihuahua. She is sitting over there, but she just cannot help but stay out of everybody's business because she has got to be the center of attention.
She wants to say something.
No, of course. She always wants to say something.
You don't know anything though, like why or how?
So we will not know the answer to that because we're not doctors. So what's going to happen is he's going to go to the doctor's office and he'll have what's called an autopsy. Yeah. That'll be first thing tomorrow morning. I'll know a lot, hopefully a lot more tomorrow morning as far as him. But I cannot, there's no way I could say how, why.
So just by looking at him, like why is he purple?
Oh, that's normal
purple.
when someone passes away, the minute he turns.
It's a heart stops beating and blood starts to settle. It's at the lowest points of the body. And then you'll see it becomes very pronounced. So that's it's called a fucking bleed. It happens every night.
I'm like really scared. I want you guys to know that.
They do.
We have all these deputies here, so while we're here, nothing's going to happen to you. Before we go and make any notifications, you'll have plenty of time to leave or do what
Run.
you need to do.
Run.
Okay?
That always kills me when she says run.
But, yeah, it's not going to be a surprise.
And then,
But like I don't like this was totally like not intentional.
Intentional.
Like that's what I'm scared about too. Like
We'll have all the answers. We'll have a lot more answers tomorrow after the medical examiner looks at it. Like she said, what you're seeing here is common. This is us coming out.
Protocol.
Yeah. His age, no real medical history that
that I
we
know of.
For him to have passed away, we come out.
I know.
yeah.
We come out and do an investigation. Medical examiner's office, we send people out, this is what we do. If he was 75 years old and had a history of heart condition, we wouldn't be here.
I just don't know what I don't know what it is.
Exactly. And that's what we're here to find out. We're just here to get the answers. The answers that you want, the answers that his family's
I
going to
just
want.
really want to see my son. I really need to see my son. I mean, I know I can't go anywhere, but
Right.
Always using her
So,
son.
like,
I need my
out
son.
here and wait for you guys.
You would, yes.
Does anybody else having to show up, or everybody's here that needs to be here?
My team's here that needs to be here. The medical examiners will show up when we call them, but we're not ready for them yet. So they're going to take him, they're going to take some photos, take him, but that's towards the end of it. And they'll be called well in advance when we're ready for them, but we're not ready for them at this point. So we won't be calling them quite yet. Okay? So like I said, I got to go do some paperwork. They're going to chat with some people, and then we're going to come back and talk to you if you're okay with that. So just give us a little bit more time. Like I said, we need to go and do that. And we need to go do what we need to do.
But do you guys tell his family, like, today or after
Yes,
tomorrow?
We have to.
It's the law.
We have to go and contact
Once our investigation is pretty much complete here, once we leave here, we will be going to.
But again, we'll know. We're not going to just go and do it without you knowing. We'll know. We'll talk to you prior to doing anything like that.
But how, I mean, I understand what you guys and how you do it, and, you know, so, but, like, what are you just telling him? What do you tell his parents? Like, what's the reason passed away?
We tell them what we
Tell them what we know. Yeah, see, this is the other thing. Again, there's nothing here showing her utter grief and devastation that, as she proclaims here, it was not intentional. No devastation. She was innocent. She wouldn't be worried about what the family was going to do, which none of them didn't want to be near her. But it's all about her. To me, that is a true narcissist. Whether, again, I'm not a professional as far as that, but it's not hard to tell. I mean, it's all about, I think now she's going to talk about the family that we met who lives out of state, who did not look like they were intending or wanted to harm Sarah. I think they wanted to, I'm sure that they're very angry with her, but I don't think they and intended any physical violence toward her. So she really needs to get over herself. Sarah does.
We know at that point.
Yeah.
You tell them the truth.
And that we're going to be waiting for the autopsy results, and I will be at the autopsy in the morning, and hopefully the doctor will be able to give me some of what they think and see.
Give them their number. They can contact them and get it.
So yeah, they're gonna know what we're here, what we're investigating, and that
They're gonna think I killed him.
Why would they think that?
They always have said that. They've always have said that.
What have they
I
said?
told you it's because I'm the blue-eyed white dragon. That's what they call me. Because they don't want him with me. So he's basically just not really been around his family because he chooses me over them.
Yeah, sure.
Even after I've encouraged him numerous times to go there and see his family.
No, that's another lie. Sorry, I know that one's horrible.
Where they've never accepted me, and everybody in his family has.
See, it's all about her. Nobody's ever accepted me, is what she's saying.
He had to pull her off me one time.
Do you have somewhere safe that you can go tonight?
Both my parents are deceased. My grandparents are deceased.
But
my
we
aunt
know,
and
we're
uncle
so
are
sorry that
deceased.
you lost all of your
I got
people, and
nobody.
you have
I have a
Brian.
brother that's in the Marines, and I've
You have
got another
Brian.
one that's in jail.
Unless the brother that's Marine, is he local?
No. Well, he in Altamont, but I think he's doing whatever Marine thing he's doing. But
Marine
Your phone's
thing.
inside, correct?
yes.
Does he have a phone?
No.
He doesn't have a phone.
He used my phone.
He uses your
Yeah,
phone.
we
Okay,
did it
share
together.
phone.
So the only place I could go is over to Brian's house. So I don't
Yes,
have a problem
poor
with it.
Brian, her poor son.
So
Well, like I said, we're not going to leave here. If you do not feel safe, you're not going to leave here with you not feeling safe. Because then we're liable.
and then his ex-wife in Philadelphia.
Well, she's in Philadelphia, but yes.
Shoot. There's gonna be a funeral.
Right. That, you're talking like days and weeks. Talking
No,
and I'm talking right here, right now.
I know.
So let me do my investigation. Let me go do this paperwork that I'm talking about, because we can go back and forth about what ifs like all day long.
I know,
I
sorry.
promise we're not going to leave here for you and you not feel safe. Okay? I promise.
What's going on?
Please. This is, I don't even know what to tell you.
It's okay. Just take a seat, have some water, give us a few minutes, let us do our thing, and we'll be back to talk to you, I promise, okay?
Like you said, you need us again, just let them know.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Martina, you need to
Yeah?
go ahead and type.
Okay.
Sit down and type with these like eyes on.
Every time, his job broke his heart. And it made me sad because he had so much pride in his job. And the store that he took care of so much totally went downhill.
Mm-hmm.
And that broke his heart because he had put so much work and effort into fixing it up. And his manager was awful and basically gave up on all of the employees. So I think that had a huge bearing on why he would drink so much. His ex-wife is bonkers. She was all over him all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Send me money, send me money, send me money. How can I send you money when I don't have a job? And he's still trying to take care of me and Lucas by paying a bill here or there, getting some groceries. So he always had something on his mind, which is why, again, I got the puzzles and the paint to try.
I'm sorry. This is very serious, but look at the puzzles and the paint. Here she is. See? She's talking about the ex-wife. She's blaming everyone. The manager of the store was awful. Sarah is the great deflector. Look at that face. Oh my goodness. You know, what she's trying to say, these were all the things that bothered him, but I think they bothered her more than him. Oh my gosh, she's just, can't deal with her, Okay.
And get him off of it so we don't have a drink, or he doesn't have a drink.
Or
so when you all see my phone, you can see all of the damage he has done to me and the videos of him smashing my television because he's belligerently drunk. Well, most of the time, I just don't want to be there.
See, isn't it funny? She goes back and forth for him being wonderful, and she's so proud of him, and now she's talking about him. Yep. Deflect, deflect, deflect. You notice how everyone is at fault but her. She is the perfect one, the chosen one.
And I try to help him. I try to calm him down.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, he just passes out.
I would too if I was around
Yesterday,
you.
it made it sound like you guys were just drinking like a glass or two. Like, yeah, you obviously had the bottle, but you told me on you told me on recording like that you were not drunk. He was not drunk. You guys were having a good time.
I can't get drunk. Number one, I do not want to get drunk. I don't like being non-complimentous, having my wits about myself. I don't like feeling out of control.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm just saying you're making it sound like he's a raging alcoholic today, and yesterday I was kind of asking you those questions, and you're like a little defensive, like, no, we're not alcoholics.
I'm not.
We are not, you know. But you guys were both sober on Sunday, to your knowledge, because when I said you went and passed out, you were like, no, I didn't pass out, I just fell asleep. So now it's kind of like, what is it? Were you guys drinking and it got out of hand and it got physical?
No.
Or is it...
Sunday was one of the better days that we have had in quite some time. He's dancing with my dog. You can see that too on the pictures, him loving the dog. He loves the dog.
Remember that? He loves the dog. That was one part I couldn't remember if I could find it. Remember, Mr. Owens claimed that he was abusive to the dogs. Probably Sarah was.
And dancing around, having a good time, and just being happy kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know. I can get like maybe 2-3 glasses of wine, and I'll be fine. But I have to have my wits about myself because I don't know what to expect.
Well, let's talk about Sunday. What was Sunday? How were you, like, how many glasses of wine did you have? How many glasses of wine did he have? The bottle was gone. I mean, I don't know if you poured any out. Yes.
No, that was from previous.
You said that there was a half bottle left over.
Yeah, about this much.
And then that you had I don't even know how the wine, how'd you guys get the wine for Sunday?
I'm guessing he went to Publix.
Does he leave the house and you stay home, or do you go to Publix? Like, cause
sometimes I'll go with him.
Okay. Like, lost me. Like, what are you?
It was a little while ago.
But now you're talking about tension building up and that you need space. So, have you been feeling that way lately, or?
No.
Okay.
No. Okay, my thing is too, so you all know. Oh, I hate that you can't talk to her, but Dee, his ex-wife. When I say a monster, she's a monster. Like, she withholds their children from speaking to him. So he gets upset about that, and then she, like, completely berates him about money, about the father that he is, what he did to her, all this other stuff. It doesn't matter. I mean, mind you, this is not, like, been recent, but...
Yes, this is the same person she's speaking about who... They did the interview right before, I think, Sarah received her verdict from the jury. And from what I could see, George's ex-wife with the 3 children seemed very calm and stable. Not to say that maybe she wasn't frustrated if George didn't give her the money she needed, but as usual, I believe Sarah is really blowing this up, of course. It's kind of like what I see from what, of course, just my opinion, narcissists. Anything that comes out of their mouth towards or about a person is really what they're saying about themselves. That's what I've learned.
Which is why he didn't even bother calling anymore, because he knows that she's going to answer and he's going to have to talk to her, so therefore he can't talk to his daughter.
No,
the other time he talked to her, made her talk to Cookie. That's on my cell phone too, so you can see it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter.
What does she have to do, though, with anything about what happened Sunday into Monday?
No, I'm just saying, previously, why the incidents would happen is she plays a big part in it.
Okay.
Of course.
Job and money and groceries and all that.
Sure.
Okay. Sunday, when I tell you this, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Is there anybody else at the house?
Nope, it's just me and him. Since talking yesterday, do you remember any like timelines better? Like what time you guys were playing? What time he was zipped up in the luggage? What time? So I don't know if you all know how to do this because so that's what I was getting ready to ask you. So are you all updating his parents today or when you get final, whatever? What does it matter? What?
Yeah, isn't that amazing? What would she be inserting herself in about telling his parents other than probably she wants them, because she didn't do it and she wants to find out. I think she's still feeling them out at this point to see, like, I think there's a part of her that knows that, probably at the end of this conversation, she's probably going to be arrested, but she doesn't know for sure. I think there's part of her thinks she's going to walk, but then I think she's kind of trying to feel him out too. But either way, it's so idiotic.
What we tell his parents, what do you mean? Because
Yeah,
we're gonna talk with them.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to. But it's gonna come down to me.
Oh, well, yeah.
What do you mean? Like, so it's being put on.
Okay, she says it's going to be put on me. And of course, I am talking more about how she's afraid of his parents, but it also goes to show that Mr. Owens, his argument was that they had her in there and they forced her in there and she is very comfortable. See how her leg is, and she has her list out. She's asking him questions, and it's, oh my gosh. I don't like to wish ill on people, but I do hope she gets the years of sentencing from her sentence that she deserves. We'll have to just trust Judge Kranick on that.
Me. Who said that? But I'm not. So what is it you would tell them? We're going to give them an update, just like we gave you an update on their autopsy. Okay, so it's whatever
Well,
bruise,
here's the thing.
Whatever on the head.
We had to deliver news to them last night that their son was dead. There's not a whole lot of conversation that goes on after that. It's not a very easy thing.
Was it yesterday or Sunday?
Look at her. No grief. No, as I like to use, scintilla of concern for his family, whatever the relationship was. Can you imagine thinking, oh my gosh, his poor family, but it's all about, oh, how are they going to react to me? How does this affect me? She's just despicable.
Sunday. Today's Tuesday, right? Did we not meet you yesterday? We met you yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm just asking. Right?
Look at her
Did
face.
we not meet yesterday?
She's so annoyed. Sarah's annoyed with everyone.
It's a valid question.
Really? Yes, on Monday.
Okay.
Got it. Perfect. So I don't know if I ask you guys or how I find this out other than talking to his parents, which is not going to happen. Yeah, probably a terrible idea.
I'm sorry. I do love the snarky detective. Yeah, probably a terrible idea. She's incredulous.
How do you guys suggest me finding out about funeral?
Jeez. I think she's going to be invited.
That's not even something that's been probably talked about between the family. That's not something we asked. We have no way of... I didn't know. That's why I'm asking.
It's
So...
going to be up to them to make the arrangements of what they want to do. Like she just told you, just quick, just being told last night, I'll pretty much be willing to wager that they have not even considered what they're going to do.
My body can't even be released, so... I've been there with parents, grandparents, and uncles.
Yep, there she goes. It's all about her again. We know that she lost many family members. I've been there. But she doesn't sound very, she doesn't show a shred of empathy for it.
So, I don't know if I have the right to or not, but, I was going to call his former
employees whom he really cared for and let them know.
You can call whoever you want.
I just don't want to do something that I'm not supposed to.
Duh. I think it's a little too late for that.
How do I go about getting his wedding ring, engagement ring?
It's at the medical examiner's office. It'll come to us eventually, and then
It'll be released to the next of kin.
Yeah. Okay.
I bought it for him.
Wow. I don't care how many times I hear that. That is just another example of her cold, narcissistic, soulless self. I bought it for him. Wow. Just like, remember, the bike that she bought for him, she accused him of stealing it, but it was a gift for him. She just, even though she said she loves him to this day, she still loves him. Mind you, I should say, it's only been, a day or two, and she still owns, she thinks she owns everything. Look at her expression. There's no remorse or grief. She's annoyed. She's annoyed with everyone.
Okay, that was a civil issue. It was on his finger. It goes to them. They're the ones that are going to release it. We don't have any say in that.
So I won't get that back.
When?
So for all of this, like, how do I find out what's what and how many, like, what's been found?
What do you mean?
Pillow with stain, swabs of stain from pillow, suitcase.
That will all be sent off to
FDLE?
FDLE, Florida Department of Law Enforcement. They do their testing.
So, and then, like, whatever white can with blood and necktie with blood was from the suitcase.
Correct.
Why would you guys, you'll see it in there, the baseball bat for Lucas.
Wow. Don't you love that? Boy, she just told something right there. You'll see that in there, the baseball bat for Lucas. Mm-hmm. See, at that time, remember now, at this point, everything was not intentional. She didn't touch him, nor did he her. Wow.
And the speeds. And this is just his phone, my phone, and then the laptop.
Yeah, when anything can be released, we will release it, but we are very early in this investigation, and it's not an overnight process, unfortunately.
So, what's next?
They're going to come and swab your fingers.
No, I'm talking about, like, in the long run. Like, what do I need to, like, do I need...
Well, what if they just said, you're going to jail, bitch? But see, she is definitely feeling them out. Because she's thinking, it might happen. What do I need to do? What can I do? What can I say? She doesn't seem too terrified of George's family right now, does she?
to be doing something, or, like...
I can't tell you what to do.
I mean, like, so, like, for... Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't know if you guys are just gonna, like... Because it makes it sound like, to me, like, I'm being accused of something that was not intentional. I'm being...
Okay, so, again, these are her words. Mr. Owen's accusations were really far off because they're not really saying much of anything. She's the one who's just blathering on.
Accused of it. And a handful of other things that I'm being accused of.
Okay.
So I don't want to be at home with Lucas and you guys show up.
Okay.
So...
We're still investigating. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
So, is there going to be concrete whatever it is, and then it's like, okay, this is what it is, kind of thing? Or, like, because I've done the whole court thing. I've done the whole attorney thing. I've done whatever. So, if I'm not admitting anything about being intentional and I killed George, that's not the situation, but it's trying to depend on me.
Okay.
That was not my intent. But it's trying to depend on me. So however or whatever it is I need to do in order for that to be proven, then I need to do so, which is why I'm trying to get my ducks in a row. So that's why I'm asking what the next step is, other than me getting my nails swabbed.
I mean, you want me to tell you how to not be accused of a crime? Is that what you're asking? Like, I don't know what you
I'm
want.
trying to prepare myself for whatever may need to be done so I can, I guess, stick up for myself.
I think you're
Yeah.
doing just fine.
I think you're doing just
You
fine.
came, you talked.
I just don't want you guys to, again, show up and Lucas is in the house.
Well, we did tell you yesterday that we don't want to do anything around your son, hence why you came to us. So I don't know why you think that's going to change.
That and or me not just show up back home.
I'm sorry, what? That or what?
Me just not show up back home. That's what, oh, he's so happy that I'm staying over at the house with Brian. Like, so happy.
Oh, but
And I'm not going
using
back
her
to
son
the
again.
house, to my house, for however long I can stay over here because of whatever to blow over.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if you don't mind me asking, so for whatever it is you all are claiming from the videos, which, yeah, is that what you're going to tell him? Like, his parents? It's like, oh yeah, and by the way, she did.
Did what?
I mean, what would you tell him?
I don't think it really matters what we're gonna tell the parents.
Oh yeah, it is, it's fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
Well, we can't hide things, and I don't know, I'm not saying we're going to go, I'm not saying that we're going to go and tell them every single thing we have, but again, this is the Orange County Sheriff's Office, that's public record, so eventually, like, this all will come out.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm not,
Matters, honey.
you're making it sound like we're going to tell them something, so then your life is in danger, and I don't like that accusation.
No.
So, let's just nip that in the butt right now.
Well, that's what's going to happen.
I cannot
What are we gonna
choose,
tell them?
But we can't even, but so technically there's no concrete report yet, even.
right, so,
it's,
you want me to, like,
bunch
tell
of
you exactly what I'm gonna tell them? I don't know what I'm gonna tell them. I don't know what I'm gonna tell them, let's just leave it at that. Just like you don't know why you went upstairs, I don't know what I'm gonna tell them.
So,
Parents that are dealing with.
can I call you the way that I did last time?
Yeah, my phone is an open line. Missy should be there, I don't know what she's taking her off.
Let's come down and look at it.
I get it. Look, I get it. That looks really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what scares me. Like, what do I need to plan on? Like, what do I need to plan on? I promise you, on my son's life,
Wow.
it was
I can't stand how she uses her poor son. Gosh, her poor son. Sickening.
not intentional. I promise you, on Lucas's life, it was not intentional.
I don't know you. I can't say I know anything about you. I don't know what would be a true statement, what would not. I mean, if you're promising on your son's life, that's fine.
That's how much it means.
Sorry.
That's how
I
much
figured
it,
you would
look,
too.
that's how much it means.
Okay.
I hope you take that to heart. Please.
Incredible. So here goes another installation of Samsonite Suitcase Sarah saga. Good alliteration there. Of course, at the time of this, she was still sticking with it's not intentional, but she did mention the baseball bat. But yeah, the main purpose of this video was just to show you what Sarah and Mr. Owens, the reasons they were giving as to why Sarah should have another trial. All seems utterly ridiculous to me. So if y'all have made it this far, When I first started this video, it was Saturday evening. I'm doing better now about telling you the dates because I never know for sure when I'm going to release them. It could be that day. It could be 2 days from now, from that time. So it is now Monday, November 11th, Veterans Day. And again, I do want to thank those of you for your service, for those of you who served. And I am finishing up this video now of this time. And it was just kind of, like I said, to go over this motion and then also show you clips of, because of the family, you know, making just a little bit of noise because they were distressed, understandably so. And her just being so calm, sitting in there in the courtroom of a family that she was allegedly so terrified of, which she didn't show that she was terrified of them at all. And just the way she spoke of them, so as she does everyone, let's face it, so negatively, and she's always the one in the right. But she's just incredible. So maybe tomorrow there will be more on the website. Perhaps the state has responded. Maybe Judge Kranick has responded. Maybe Sarah has penned a letter and it's gonna show up. We will see. But there was one thing I did want to ask you all. Let me know in the comments below. I know that I had heard from several, and I can't remember if it was you all or just from watching other things, that there were some people that were under the belief that, well, we know that it was George's suitcase, and that maybe he had that suitcase because he was planning to leave, and she had her last moment of control over him. That could be a very good possibility. And then there were things in the suitcase. I mean, they were kind of bizarre things. Like there like a tie and I think some medication of his, and I forget what else. But yeah, I had heard that from several places, and I was curious if any of you all thought that as well. Let me know in the comments below. And anything else you can think of that I haven't mentioned that you are suspicious of, or that you think that, you know, that happened. But I think that is it for now. There's going to be more. Let's face it. Sarah is going to drag this out as long as she can. Poor George's family. Poor George. Her poor son and poor Brian, her ex-husband. But anyhow, as always, I love you all. I truly do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for commenting, subscribing. Be kind to someone. Be kind to you. Let's hope we get justice for George and his family very soon. And until then, I will see you the next time.